Okay, I've got a telling off Scott from Sengoku Studies, and I need to clarify something from my last video, which I did. So I opened my door, and there was a howling letter like Harry Potter. Scott going, Anthony, clarify what you mean. Okay, Scott, okay. So I'm here today. So I said that Kyoto and Tokyo, that you can exchange them. Kyoto, Tokyo, and shift around. And Scott said that's not exactly 100% the correct story. So just to show you, I do know what I'm talking about, Scott, and it was my fault for being misleading. But this is my book, Old Japan: Secrets from the Shores of the Samurai. And here on this page, we talk about this is Kyoto and Tokyo. This kanji basically means capital. So, it has the capital in it. But they never used it for Nara, I don't think. Nara, Kyo. I don't think there's ever, I'm not sure. Let's ask Scott on that one. But basically, Kyoto, Tokyo, they're like reverses of each other. However, there's an extra vowel for Tokyo. It's Tokyo. So when you're on a train in Japan, you get Tokyo desu. So it's Tokyo. We, of course, in English say Tokyo. They say Tokyo. So, but basically what I'm saying is Kyoto is much, much older than Tokyo. Now, Kyoto is the imperial capital. However, it wasn't always the imperial capital. You've got Nara, and you also have another one, which the name slips me in a minute, which they moved to after Nara, I think, and they went there, and they only stayed for, I think, about a year or 10 years or something like that. It was a small amount of time, and it flooded, and it was terrible, and they moved then to Kyoto, which has a name change, like Heian-kyo, I think, and there's different names for Kyoto and their capitals. Now, what I'm saying here is, I was told by a Japanese person once, they said, it's quite interesting, we have Kyoto and Tokyo, and they're sort of reversed. And so I don't know how much the original people who made up the name Tokyo, which originally was called Edo, I don't know how many people thought, we'll just copy that Kyoto and turn it around, and we drop a vowel, but the point is that the sound changes there. Now, I was told by a Japanese person they did this for the sound change, but I haven't got any primary evidence for that. It might be something to look into, or it's just one of those things that Japanese people have clocked. They go, yeah, it's a very similar sound. It's like we would have rhymes with things that just rhyme, but not quite, and they're there, but yes, it doesn't have the exact vowel numbers in. But basically, it was sort of this story from a Japanese person I got. But it's an interesting point. But the main point, which I need to clarify, is that there is an imperial court and there is a shogunate court for the military class. There's the nobility class, there's the military class. But even, like Scott was saying in his scathing comment, so, no, he's quite nice. He's always dead nice, Scott. So, basically, Scott was saying that also they didn't go from Kamakura to Edo. I'll be honest with you, I don't know how many capitals the shogunate have, the Bakufu have had. I really don't know that. But I do know the first one, like I said, I think is Kamakura, and then it goes up to Tokyo in the end, and then whatever. But don't forget, in the middle of all that, the shogunate pretty much collapses, and that's where we have the Age of Wars, where people are vying to be the shogun. And remember that the word shogun didn't always mean ultimate ruler. So to finish off last month, which is March, and I'll start April's tomorrow, is basically, very quickly, you've got Imperial Court with the Emperor, Vader, yeah? Okay? You've got the Imperial sort of... Alright, here we go, right. Vader, Darth Vader is the Emperor, yep. So, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. The Emperor is the Emperor. Darth Vader is the Shogunate. The Emperor is on his ship, the Death Star. Darth Vader is on his ship. Oh God, which ship? The main Star Destroyer, and he's the Shogunate, and he's the Emperor. Darth Vader's more powerful than the Emperor, pretty much, because he kills him in the end, yeah. But they're vying for power, and like in Star Wars, they can move around. Death Star one day, get off, come somewhere else, get off somewhere else. On a shuttle, get off somewhere else. This is the point. There's a vying of power, and when they collapse, because the rebellion comes, yeah, basically, they have to reform later to be the First Order, all right? Japanese history, done Star Wars style, all right? Japanese history style. Rise of the Empire, yep. Rebellion in the middle. Rise of the First Order. There is, of course, from that, the Empire, the Emperor, and the Shogun, who are vying for power, and also the other people who are vying for power, right? Doesn't really match 100%, but I'm trying to find things that make it easy for you guys out there to understand, okay? I'm trying to find things that make it okay. So, right, I'll leave it at that. So just remember, there are different capitals at different times. They are connected to either the emperor or the shogun. But not only that, Tokyo, which was once called Edo, was connected to the shogun, but then gets connected to the emperor, because the emperor moves from Kyoto and goes to Tokyo, where he is today. So the story of the Japanese emperor has not ended. We might get a rise of the Japanese army who re-put the emperor on the throne. And I think in World War II, there was actually an attack on the emperor's life by Japanese soldiers. Anybody got any information on that? It was something I saw in a documentary once, and there was an attack on the Imperial Palace by Japanese soldiers, by someone in the Japanese army who was vying for power. And I think even a part of the Japanese army broke off and established themselves in China, and I think created a Chinese-style shogun emperor out there. Some information on that, because I don't know anything about that, so beyond what I've heard on the television. So anyway, there you go, guys. If you would, get yourself a copy of Old Japan. Scott, I'm very sorry. I always getting told off by Scott. So, and we'll be back tomorrow with some warships.